we have a video by Whaddo You Meme talking about the truth about anti-Christian politics. Let's listen to this video.
With stupid people is that they don't know that they're stupid. And that saying actually rings just a little different here in 2020, where social media has effectively conditioned large groups of ignorant people to not only remain in their ignorance, but also makes them think that they can be their local neighborhood superhero. Now, like all sad stories, this sad story of reality that we're living in today also has a villain. In fact, there's two of them. Their names are media and media's evil stepson, social media. Let's go ahead and start with the latter. The algorithms on our social media platforms were designed to know what you like and what you'll react strongly to. With that information, they'll lump you into categories to make it easier to market to you. So, for example, if you're a Christian who likes Christian content, you'll probably be seeing a lot of Christian-based content in your social media feeds. That's probably how you came across this channel in the first place. And the same goes for atheism, veganism, sports, or really just about anything else that has a market.
Well, yes, that's because more so of capitalism and less of social media itself. In media, in my opinion, both media and social media have been great positives. It's just you have certain people that seek to use it to make more money because they're capitalists.
Now, once they find that you're the kind of person who likes that kind of content, it's easier for them to know what kind of things that they could sell you. And more importantly, they know what kinds of thoughts that you'll buy into as well. It's a smart marketing tool, and it makes it easier for you to find channels like this. But the problem comes in when you realize that we've all been assigned to certain digital echo chambers where most of what we hear today on social media will be from people who already agree with us.
Yes, that is true as well. The algorithms of social media and stuff have created echo chambers, and that is why you go outside of those echo chambers and listen to people that have different ideas than what you have.
A consequence of this is that as time goes by, it inevitably makes our society more and more polarized by creating more separation between these digital echo chambers that they put us into. We'll eventually lose touch with the people that we disagree with, and we'll just start to see them as caricatures. For example, I recently came across a video by a journalist who was a lifelong Democrat, but a few months ago, she decided to go to a Trump rally. Now, during her visit, she was shocked that what she learned and believed about Republicans from all of her years in left-wing journalism simply just wasn't true. Here's a few clips from her video.
I have been a Democrat for 20 years. Ever since I was 18, I have literally never voted for someone who was not a Democrat, and I still haven't, as of this point anyway, but I made the decision the day before the New Hampshire primary to go check out the Trump rally in Manchester, New Hampshire. Now, every single person I talked to about this plan said, Carlin, be safe. Be safe. And I'm talking about both people from the left and the right, and they wanted me to be safe for different reasons. But I decided to go anyway, and I thought it was really important to go, not because I'm a Donald Trump supporter, because I'm not. I did not vote for him in 2016. I voted for Bernie, and then I voted for Hillary Clinton. But because I wanted to see for myself. I wanted to see for myself what this was all about. And frankly, I had seen every major Democratic candidate. And I thought that, maybe, why not? What could possibly go wrong? The worst thing that could happen is that this was going to be a spectacle, and I had been able to go and actually witness for myself what was going on. So I went to this Trump rally, and I discovered that these people that I had always perceived as being really, very bad people were really not. These people are not racist, they're not Nazis, they're not white supremacists, they're not whatever phobe you want to call them.
Right, even though anytime you talk to a lot of Trump supporters, they'll end up going into some kind of racist rant. Trump himself does a lot of racist rants. He says a lot of dog whistles, like when he's fear-mongering about low-income houses coming to suburbia. That's his dog whistles of, hey, white people in suburbia, be afraid that there's going to be black people in your neighborhood. Because that's what usually people think of when they hear low-income housing. Black people. You have Trump, who retweeted a video of a guy yelling white power in the video. Trump is a racist, and majority of his supporters are racist as well. That's why they're in support of a border wall. That's why they're in support of killing immigrants that come over. That's why you find a lot of right-wingers that are in support of killing black people because they are racist. Now, I believe I did speak about this chick's video earlier, so we're just going to skip the rest of this. And it looks like he just shows a bunch of clips. So let's just skip that.
These echo chambers. This is made even worse once you realize that
right now.
that's what happens inside of these echo chambers. This is made even worse once you realize that almost all of the major news and media outlets today are fueling the same echo chamber's ignorance about Christianity. A big part of this is political. One impression that they'll leave you with is that Christian is virtually synonymous with right-wing extremists. And by right-wing extremists, they're talking about a group of people that basically consist of the KKK, Nazis, Trump enthusiasts, and people whose sole mission is just to marginalize people by instilling injustice into this world.
Well, you do have a lot of right-wingers that are Christians, and the farther right you go, the more extreme your right-wing views become, and they will align with the KKK and Nazism. There are some right-wingers that have a lot of, like, left-wing views and are, iffy about Trump now, and aren't racist people, but majority of, like, the Trump supporters and right-wingers are racist people. You do have the left-wing Christians, which, if you want to, move away from the racism and xenophobia and stuff, that's the side you would want to go with.
Now, in reality, it's true that Christians are still sinners and we all have our flaws. But overall, Christians aren't always what they're portrayed to be. In talking about how Christians are often portrayed, Scott Sauls says, the statistic that 80% of evangelicals put Donald Trump in office turns into 80% of evangelicals are enthusiasts about a man who has been predatory towards women, tells lies, is a racist, and all of the other accusations about him. There's this label that is assigned to the worst kind of caricature.
Yes, when you talk to Trump supporters, people that did help get Trump elected, which there were a lot of evangelicals that did help, they don't care that he's predatory towards women. They gave him a mulligan. They don't care that he lies because they believe that God put him into office. They don't care that he's racist because they're also racist. I mean, when the truth is being told, you cannot be upset over it.
He goes on to say, but in reality, Christians are on the front lines nationwide working towards racial reconciliation and justice. Christians are leading on the ground. We're not perfect, but whenever you see real repair starting to happen, you will see Christian churches and communities and individuals in the center of the conversation.
Yes, but you also see Christians that are on the front lines working towards racial inequality. You got people like Jesse Lee Peterson, who goes on social media every day to tell you how evil black people are. You got people like Dennis Prager, who is a multi-millionaire that goes on social media to also tell you how bad black people are and how victimized white people are.
But Christians being against injustice isn't something that's only true today in America. but it's something that's also been true throughout history since the birth of Christianity. Christians have been fighting against social injustice since the inception of the church and brought about social change with things like child exposure in early Rome, to the abolishment of slavery in the 19th century, all the way up until the hospitals and charities and orphanages today. And
the child exposure in Rome. I'm not sure what he means by that, but what about all the victims of child abuse by the various churches that are constantly covered up, like by the Vatican, by various small churches in the United States? Um, you got with the slavery in the 1900s, you had Christians spearheading slavery to begin with. You cannot. I mean, yeah, there were some Christians that helped, that were abolitionists, but uh, back during those times, majority of the people enslaving people were Christians.
so on. Now, there's no doubt that some Christians have overly identified with a political party, making these sorts of accusations easier to launch at us. I believe that in reality, we need to be Christians before we're anything else, and that includes being part of some political party. We want to be known for Christ, not politics. Now, the problem of echo chambers obviously doesn't just apply to one side of any debate. Of course, this goes both ways. But the truth is, Christians do care about those in need, and they do care about the oppressed and the marginalized, especially knowing that our Lord and Savior was also a social outcast and was a victim of injustice himself.
Right. Unless you're talking about right-wing Christians, which, who have proven time and time again that, they care not about the marginalized and the oppressed. All they care about is cis white males, which is truly because the right wing is all about white supremacy.
So we do care, contrary to what these echo chambers would lead people to believe. Christianity has actually quite literally changed the world for the better in so many ways that you would never hear from those who give you a political caricature of Christianity.
For the better? That is up for debate, in my opinion, especially with the massive amount of evils that have been done in the name of Christianity, and with Christianity being used to justify like the denial of marriage rights to homosexual people, that I would not consider to be a benefit towards humanity, nor the preventing the progress of scientific innovations. I would say that does not benefit humanity whatsoever. Like in the early past, when the Christian church had an extreme amount of power, they were able to kill people that were scientists trying to, advance knowledge. And if you look in modern days, you got missionaries going over to Africa convincing people that witches are real, and then you have those people killing people because they think there are witches. That does not benefit humanity whatsoever.
Go ahead and click on this video to see what I mean. But the next time,